Hey folks, in this video, we're going to be talking about how you can get started in Java in just a couple minutes. Before we get started, let's explain a little bit how Java works. So you write your Java using the Integrated Development Environment, or IDE. The pros to using an IDE instead of using a text editor is the main advantage of it is that the IDE has smart tools to help you as a developer not only write your code, but debug it, test it, and whatnot. Anyways, you take the IDE and you write the code. And as you're writing the code, you finish your project, whatever you're working on, you compile it, and that actually gets transformed into bytecode using the JDK. The JDK is what physically takes your code and compiles it into the bytecode. And then say that you want to run the bytecode on another machine. That's what the Java virtual machine is for. But the only tools that are required for us to download is a JDK, or Java Development Kit, and a Integrated Development Environment, or IDE. So let's go ahead and get started doing that. So starting off with the JDK, as you can see on my page right here, this is the official Oracle website. This link to the JDK will be down in the description. And then we'll scroll down and then we see JDK 25, which is the latest JDK as of recording this video. And then we'll go over to the Windows section and we'll go to the Time64 installer and click that. And that will download the JDK. All you have to do to install it is click the executable, let that run, press next, next, and just let that go ahead and install. And press close. Now moving on to your IDE. For this one in particular, for our integrated development environment that we will be using, we're going to be using Intellij IDEA. This is the one that I recommend. There are some different ones that you could go with, but for this course that we will be making solely, we will be using Intellij. It is a great IDE and it is free unless you want eventually the ultimate features, which then you can have a subscription, but I do not like paying for things. So we will be going ahead and downloading the free version here. And just go ahead and let that download. Once that is done downloading, make sure you guys go ahead and open that up as well. And that will begin the installation process for it. Once the installer is open here, just press next, next, and then you'll see a few options here, which I typically do not press any of these. This is just to create a desktop shortcut. This is so whenever you right click something in your Windows, you can actually open the folder as a project. I don't do that either. I don't do any of this stuff. And adding bin folder to path. This is something a little bit outside the scope of this course that I will teach you guys. So we are just going to be pressing next. Go ahead and press install. And just go ahead and let that install. At the end of the installer, you are prompted to run IntelliJ IDEA. You're going to tick this and press finish. All right. So now we are in IntelliJ IDEA and we're going to make our first project in this program here. So all you're going to do is press new project. And you can name this anything you would like. We're just going to call this Hello World. And make sure that IntelliJ is selected down here. The location does not matter. You are free to change this location if you would like it to be more accessible in somewhere else in your computer. Make sure you untick create git repository. Make sure the proper JDK is selected and untick add sample code and then press create. All right, after everything is done being created here, you should be brought up to a screen like this. You're going to go ahead and make this full screen here. And then we're going to right click on the source folder. The source folder is basically the folder that will contain all of your project files ever. So we're going to go ahead and right click on it, and you can go to new Java class, or you can also go up here and go to new Java class and then make a name for it. In this case, we're just going to call this main and press enter. Now, as you can see, it created a class in here called main. For your viewing pleasure, though, I am going to increase the font size. And there we go. Now you have successfully created your first Java class. And now Java needs to know where to start in your program, because right now it has no idea where to start. So you need to make something called the main method. All right, now that you have made your main class in Java, the Java program currently does not know where to start in your program. So we need to make something called the main method. And so let's go inside of these two curly braces and make this main method. It is simply public static void main. Then we have parentheses, string, and then brackets, args. And then close the parentheses, bring more curly brackets in here, and press enter. Now, at this point, you can actually run the program in a couple different ways. You can go in here and press run main, and this will run it down here, or you can go up here and press it, as well as you can press shift plus F10, and that will also run it. Now we can see the program ran, but there's no output. There's nothing happening in it. It's an empty body, right? Well, I'm going to get the console to output a few different things here. And by doing that, and how we do that is by using something called system.out.print. So system.out.print. And this is how we will print items to the output. So we're going to say hello world. And we're going to go ahead and run this. And as we can see down here, it says hello world. Now, I want to add something else. I want to say, how are you? And let's run that again. And now we can see, well, actually, these are both on the same line. So how could I get these to print out on separate lines? One way that we can do this is by using a different method. It is very, very similar. We use print line. And what this does is it does a new line. There you go. Another way you can do the same exact thing, actually just using the print method, is by using something called escape sequences. Escape sequences are really cool because they allow you to do very specific things. So we're going to be using the new line escape sequence, which is /n. And this is an escape sequence. And I will reinforce this by actually showing you that now I have the same output as whenever I was doing print line, as well as you can do other options. There's other ones that are available here, such as /t. And what this does is it actually puts in a tab space in between that. So that should be about 4 spaces in between there. All right, but enough of this. We'll just change these to print line. So all you need to know is print line essentially adds that escape sequence. Now, what if I want to add in comments for myself as I'm learning to, understand things or maybe put notes into my code? Well, you can do that. They are called comments. In Java, comments are initiated with 2 / like this. And you simply put whatever you want in here. So like this is a single line comment. Well, what if you get to the point where you have a lot to put in this comment and now you're having to put multiple lines of this? So, now I'm running into 3 lines of comments. Not super, super good, right? Well, you can actually make an item called a multi-line comment, which is simply put by doing a / asterisk and then an asterisk slash. And this is how you make multi-line comments. So this marks the beginning of it, and this marks the end of it. And as you go down, you need to put asterisks on the line to continue the comment. So now we can write in here, this is a multi-line comment. So pretty simple stuff, but now you have successfully created your first program, and we can run it again, and you will see all this other information that we put in here is completely ignored. One more thing before we go today, guys, just reiterating what we said in the beginning of the video here. Java takes your code. Whenever you run it, it compiles it into bytecode. And whenever that bytecode is compiled, in order for your machine to then run that bytecode, it takes the bytecode and actually transforms it into something called machine code, which your computer actually understands. And then your computer runs that code. So that is basically how this all plays into a part. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys in this one. In the next video, we'll be learning more about Java, probably diving into some variables and whatnot. And I am so excited to continue this program, course, whatever you want to call it, and just teach you guys all I know about Java so you guys can get out there, make some serious money in the real world, land your first job, whatever it might be. Maybe just create some sort of software you've always wanted to for a long time. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Happy learning.